Imagine being one of Germany's top physicists, trained at the dawn of modern quantum theory, working alongside Planck or Schrödinger, and then your name, not your research, becomes a reason for your denial. Because you are a woman. In 1933, all of 56 women teaching university level physics in Germany were asked to resign. Not for failing tests, but because they were either Jewish or they were women. But four of them refused to let their brilliance be erased. Olivia Campbell's Sisters in Science takes you inside their perilous escapes, scientific breakthroughs, and their undying determination. It all unfolds like a suspense thriller. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Pooja at A Book by the Window. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are reading good. I just finished Sisters in Science as an audiobook that I have been reading for close to 2 months, and I slowly made my way through it, enjoying all the chapters and the historical tidbits that came my way. And as soon as I'm done, I'm here to talk more about it, provide a kind of an informal review, and what are my honest thoughts about it. We'll get into it very soon, but before that, please like, share, subscribe. If you only like this video, then only like at the end of it. I understand that. But please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get this channel monetized as quickly as possible. It's been quite some time I have been making these videos, and I would really appreciate if my channel would be monetized. It's not happening for a very, very long time. So if you enjoy watching my videos, please subscribe to the channel. And with that self-promotion out of the way, I will take you guys to this wonderful right now. We'll dive straight into the plot of the book. The book follows the life of four women who were working as a physicist in Germany at a time when Hitler was on the rise. First is Lisa, Jewish and Austria born, who co discovered nuclear fission but was barred from her professorship in Berlin and was eventually forced to flee. Hedwig was one of three German women to qualify to teach physics in any German university before 1933. Then there was Hertha, a specialist in spectroscopy, whose whole career was derailed because of gender biases, and then Hildegard, whose habilitation was revoked by Nazi academics. Born within years of each other, these women shared classroom with the likes of Einstein and Bohr, and was part of what Campbell called an elite corps of 56 women qualified to teach physics in pre-Nazi Germany. Most of them lost their job when Hitler came to power in 1933 and had to piece together their life in exiles in Sweden, in the US, and elsewhere despite rising anti-Semitism and discrimination. The narrative is organized in three rough acts. Number one is before, as each woman built a promising and uphill career. Number two, during, the nail biting exiles, the rejection, the visa refusals, all of it. And number three is the after, reconstruction of lives in labs and exile. Campbell weaves letters, manifestos, and diary entries into the narrative so that even readers who missed having a physics background would be intertwined into the story and they find it engaging. Talking about the themes in the book and the writing of the book. At its heart, Sisters in Science is a story about academic bravery, systemic sexism, and scientific ambition. Campbell uses the metaphor of sisterhood, not biological bond, but shared professional solidarity that transcend national borders and political upheaval. The writing style will feel familiar if you have enjoyed The Hidden Women of Physics or Women in White Coats, Campbell's previous book on female physicians. There is a cinematic pace around escape sequences, Lisa's midnight train to Sweden, Cohn's labyrinth route through Aberdeen, and Spooner's evacuation to Duke University. Still, the prose is sometimes uneven. Some important details like who gets the credit for the nuclear fission are buried under footnotes or posed as rhetoric questions. The reviewers often lauded the cinematic prose and the detailed description of the storytelling. At times, Campbell layered the scientific explanation on already heavily burdened historic text. The audiobook read by Cassandra Campbell really did earn high marks in advanced review circles. Reviewers praised her timing, her tone, her clarity, calling the narration a great asset in a wonderful storytelling. Talking about the highlights of the book, the individual stories of these four women highly spoke to me and was the true highlight of the entire narration for me. Take, for example, Lisa's story, her contribution to foundational nuclear physics, and ultimately the heartbreak that she had to face after Otto Hahn won the Nobel Prize instead of her. It is all told with the emotional weight, and being a woman in STEM, it all hit too close to home. Spooner's transition from Gutenberg to Duke, and Cohen's labyrinth journey to safety both felt personal and necessary. Also, the historic text felt come alive in the pages in the narration. The Nazi laws, the shifting immigration quota, and the cruel irony of some academics from anti Semitic regime still playing such an important role in these women's life and their safety. For example, even after losing her job, Cohn spent months earning emergency fees as Europe edged close to war. I also have to say that I like the attention to detail. Campbell's meticulous research shines through, with dozens of letters, interviews, and archival footnotes woven into the text, honoring the scientific legacy and the sacrifices of these women and many more. Now, let's move on to the lowlights of the book for me. As many readers pointed out, there is sometimes too much scientific stuff that is too heavy to wrap your head around. Some readers even reported that this is the part of the World War II history that a lot of readers are not aware of, and sometimes the book did delve into a lot of scientific stuff that is not for everyone. That does drag on the pacing of the book, and some description about quantum physics lingers on for way too long. And personally, I did enjoy that part because I love reading about science, and every moment, every opportunity that I get, I'm gonna do that. But it is not for everyone and it can be confusing sometimes. Another critique that I had that the order of these events is not chronological. The narration shifts from present day, the lives of the women to historical stuff, and it does kind of feel chaotic, not like a story that is going on and you read about these elements in bits and pieces. It goes back and forth between the scientific description and the historical facts, and then the women's life. I was reading it to know more about the women's life, what are their thoughts and how did they take these challenges. I was able to get that, but there is a lot of stuff around it as well. The last thing that I felt was the author's assumption about these women's reaction and in a very authoritative manner. Like in one instance, Campbell says she must have felt abandoned without any proper sources or quotes. This fails the historian's show don't tell standard. A few points that stood out to me as an audiobook. Number one, Campbell's narration is stellar. You cannot deny that fact. Clear diction and emotion in the escape moments. Even science heavy chapters seemed more digestible when you hear them aloud. Number two, the pacing of the book is kind of uneven, so the audiobook do not give you that opportunity to skip through sections or versions that you don't want to read because there is no option to skip ahead and know what chapter you want to land to. But for a vehement user of audiobook like me, it was fine because I was listening to these historic and scientific facts in the background as I'm cooking or cleaning, doing stuff around the house, and getting some knowledge in. I also enjoyed listening to Campbell's voice and taking it as a story or facts as and when they are coming, not looking as the text as just chapters. So that kind of worked well for me. I'm very well versed in listening to an audiobook, and each story, each chapter came to me like an episode, like I am listening to a YouTube video or a podcast. So it was fine for me, but I do understand that sometimes it might be slogging and some people might find it boring. My final rating of the book was 3.5 out of 5 stars, solely because at times I did feel it is dragging, and I would have loved to know more about the women's thoughts and their own experiences, if at all that was woven well into the story. Even then, this is a very well researched and structured book that brings these long, overshadowed, forgotten scientific pioneers to the front. And I personally love underrated books for the fact that they bring about these underrated facts to light and these stories need to be told. Would I recommend it? Definitely yes. For the readers who want to know more about STEM and for the readers who want to know about women history, it also has elements of historical fiction and World War. All of this packed into one. I seldom found a book that packs everything into one, and that is what drew me to this book in the first place. And I wasn't disappointed entirely. I learned a lot from it in bits and pieces. That is it. That is my honest review about the book Sisters in Science by Olivia Campbell. I know a lot of you girlies are thinking what lipstick I'm wearing today because this is a favorite shade. I'll agree with you on that one. I am getting bolder with my lipstick choice, especially on the weekend, because on the weekdays, whenever I'm going to work, I don't get to wear these bold lipsticks, but I love wearing bold lipsticks. So if you want a link to this lip combo, I'm going to link it in the description box below and try your hands on it, especially brown girls. With more and more me being in California and running outside, my body and my face is kind of developing a very nice tan, which I do enjoy. So with that, bold lipsticks pair really well. So brown girls, if you want to get your hands onto this one, I definitely recommend it. Very nice formula, and It doesn't go anywhere. I just got back from a really nice coffee with a friend. I had coffee, we talked a lot, and I see that it is still intact. So I'm gonna link this in the description box below. I'm also gonna leave an affiliate of this book in the description box below. So if you want to check this book out for yourself, please do that. And I hope you like this video. Please like, share, subscribe. Share it with your friends and family and let me know what are you currently reading. With that out of the way, I'll take your leave for today. Until then, happy reading.